Hi everyone, my name is Cheryl. Welcome to my Happy Handcraft studio. It's been a while, it's been a couple of months since I was here last. I find that fall is a really busy time in my life. For people new to this channel, I am a multi-crafter book lover that lives in the foothills of Alberta near Calgary, Alberta. So in this episode, I'm going to show you what I've been working on in cross stitch, my cross stitch plans for December. I'm also going to show you some things I've been making. For anyone who has been watching this channel for a while, you know that I make a lot of things for charity, and I'm going to share some of the things that happened at our Bags, Babies, and Beyond event that happened at the end of October, what the setup was like, and the purchases I made. I'm sure if you like handcrafts, you like to see what other handcraft makers are producing for charity sales. I also have a book review of just a couple of books I've read recently. I've read a lot of books, but I'll just choose the best of what I've read so far. So cross stitch. One of the reasons that I haven't recorded an episode is I have been working on one project. And if you've been here a while, you know it's my big awesome project that's been going on now for 2 years, and I hope soon to be completed. So the project I'm talking about is Changing Seasons, and that was the 2022 Mystery Sal by Fox and Rabbit Designs. And I'm going to show it a bit here, and then I also have a picture of the whole thing to show you as well. So this project is completed on 32 count Belfast linen in natural, and the colors are my own choice. This project is 360 stitches by 360 stitches, and this is the project that I've been working on. I really want this done in November. And as you can see, I now just have part of one side left to complete. So I'm hoping that by the end of November, this project will be done. It's, I love it, but I want it done. There's many projects that I have that would be a lot quicker to complete, and I want to get to those as well. So, November plan, finish it. Get the stitching done on Changing Seasons. If you're interested in any of my projects, I do have them listed in the description box below. So, December. I have lots of Christmas projects already started that I want to work on. So this first one goes that way. This one is called Christmas Ball, and I got it on Etsy at xcrossstitchpattermx. It's on 27 count Black Linda. So I'm hoping that this can be completed fairly quickly. And the next one is from the same pattern company on Etsy, xcrossstitchpattermx. This one is called Christmas Deer. And this is on a 28 count Monaco in white. This is the DMC Charlescraft Monaco. And again, oops, that one shouldn't take too long to finish. The next Christmas piece I have is called Christmas Snow Globe. And I'm doing Christmas Snow Globe on a 28 count linen by Permian of Copenhagen. This was a vintage linen that I picked up. My next whip I want to get to is by Durene Jones, and it's called Merry Christmas. And I have this much so far. It's on some unknown even weave khaki, and I'm using the called for DMC. This is a fun picture. I'm looking forward to getting that one done. This next one is from Peppermint Purple, and it is Blackwork, and I'm using the 14 count printed Aida from Charlescraft that you can get at Michael's. So it's this nice mottled pinks and purples. And for this one, I'm using the colors that are in Watermelon Tourmaline for my baubles. And then the final one is called Happy Mood Point by SS089 Sampler Quaker. And I got that one on Etsy. And this one I'm doing on a Lugana gray pearl gray. And I'm using DMC 3750 for the whole thing. So that's what I have to look forward to in December. That's why I'm going to be sure to get Changing Seasons completed so that I can really enjoy the Christmas season. If you've been around here before, you know that in December I really like to start a lot of Christmas things. This year I'm going to really love finishing a lot of Christmas cross stitch. So that is my cross stitch plans. So now I'm going to show you my temperature blanket. This thing is huge. I am so glad it's November. I only have like a month and a half left to go on this because, I mean, this could keep a small family warm, I'm sure. All right, so this is the top part here. And it just continues and continues. So this bottom part was January, February, March, the cooler colors. Then we got into June, July, August. And I have to say we had a wonderful year because my favorite color is yellow for temperature. The yellow is between 20 to 25 degrees Celsius. And as you can see, we had a lot of wonderful days. And now we're coming back into fall. We did have a cold snap in middle of October, but now we've had a beautiful fall. We did have snow about the third week of October. But most of that snow is gone now, and we've had just beautiful temperatures for fall. So no complaints about the temperature, but it's big. It's, you know, it will cover my double size bed down here without a problem. And it's heavy. It's going to be a warm, cozy blanket. But there will be no temperature blanket next year. There might be something else to take its place, but we'll see. All right. So now I'm going to just talk a little bit about the charity event that I make things for all year. It's called Bags, Babies, and Beyond. It is a fundraiser for the Stephen Lewis Foundation Grandmothers to Grandmothers campaign that supports African grandmothers who are looking after their orphaned grandchildren. And it provides education support, medical support, community services. So all year long, I work at making things for this sale, and so do all my friends at the Ujamagrammas. Our members donate, I guess we could probably thousands of items, because I'm in the bag area and we had over 540 different kinds of bags new this year. So there's a lot to choose from. So we started off with just full tables and racks. And by the end, we were spreading things out. The sale was later than normal, than we usually do, a week later. And so we'd already had cold weather, so people were purchasing more of our woolen and yarn items. They were also starting to prepare for Christmas, so there was a lot of gift shopping. And then, of course, because we have beautiful things, people were buying for themselves as well. So I'm going to show you some of the things that I purchased. So I'm also going to show you a little friend happy mail. I have a friend who makes primitive artwork, and she made me this cat a year or so ago. Well, this time I got a jack-o'-lantern to add to my Halloween collection. And at the sale, I picked up this little piece of hers. It's wool felt, a snowman with a steaming mug, looking up at the snowflakes. Love that. So I'm going to add that to my holiday winter collection. I have a friend who makes knitted gnomes, and I've shown her gnomes before. And this precious one is called Nathan. Of course, it's like Nathan, you know, because it's a gnome. And it has just beautiful stitching on it. And this is going with it. This is a wooden, I guess it's like a darning mushroom. And that's made by her husband. So it's a really good combination. I have another gnome that I'm going to display with that. So if you are a knitter, you know what double pointed needles are. And we had these little snap pouches where you can put your needles in, close it up, and then you don't lose your stitches off of your double pointed needles. And then final thing, this is the thing I knew I was going to buy when I went to the sale. I mean, I work in this department. I know that I can snatch it right away. And that is this rice bag. It's a knit. I'm going to be using it as a yarn bag for knitting. It opens up wide, so I can put all my yarn goodness in there, have it sit beside me, and knit right out of the bag. Love that. we had several of these in the sale and they all sold. And then the final thing I purchased was my shrug. I loved it. I saw it from a distance and thought, I could use that. This year I bought early. Last year there was a shawl I liked, but I thought, oh, well, you know, if it's still there at the end, I'll buy it. And it wasn't. And I was sad. So I decided I wouldn't be sad this year. I would buy something right away. All right, so that is what I purchased at the sale. And thank you to friends, neighbors who came to the sale and supported our charity. Thanks so much. So, I have a cross stitch finish to show. It's in my pile of things I made. So, this little cross stitch is called Chocolate Bunny, and it was in the Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher magazine, Spring 2020. It is a Teresa Kogut pattern, and I did this on a 32 count chocolate raspberry linen. Finished it up, went to my frame supply in the back room and had this great frame. So I do have a fully finished item. I am so proud. I have several things to finish, and that's not usual for me. I usually finish, fully finish. So what have I been making? So for the sale, I made these card holders. So this is just for, you know, ease of using your cards. There is a tutorial on YouTube about a plain card holder. This is the only one that's left from the sale. It was sort of my sample, and all the rest sold. So I'm making more of those for coming 2024 Bags, Babies, and Beyond. Part of our handcraft group is we have what we call a sew day, and we get together and we learn how to make things. And the first one we had was on, rope bowl making, or I heard it called cotton pottery. So I made this one. This one used just the beige cotton rope, and then the color comes from the thread that's used to hold it together. So this is my first one. And then one of our instructors, she pre-wraps her rope with batiks. And so this was pre-wrapped and I made it into this bowl. So that will be at the next year's event. I've also made some small vinyl pouches. This was my practice one. I wasn't really thrilled with it, so this will be my own. And then we had some great fabrics donated. And so I have this one with llamas, and then this one with swans. So those will be in the sale next year. So for this, for Bags, Babies, and Beyond this year, I had made, half dozen of these little snow people. And they sold, so I wanted to make some more, but change it up. And so at last Quilt Guild meeting, we had what we called a holiday carousel, where our members could move from station to station and find some cute ideas for Christmas holiday ornaments or gifts. And for that I made these little people, and I showed how to make them. So it's the same pattern. This is out of quilt batting, and then the hat and scarf are from a fleece. And I have a whole box full. So already items for 2024. It's going to be a great event next year. All right, so that is what I've been making for the sale. So I also finished up this quilt. This quilt was a mystery quilt from one of my quilt guilds for 2023. 2022, 2023, we worked on it, and we presented them at the October meeting, and so I was thrilled to have it done. And I'm also thrilled now to have this red and white quilt that I can put out for the Christmas season. So that was great. All right, so last thing is books. Now, like I said, I've read a lot of books because it's been a couple of months. But I'm just going to tell you about a few of my favorites. So the first one is Tom Lake, and this was by Ann Patchett, and I like her writing. So imagine you found out that your mother had dated a movie star, and you've always kind of wondered what happened to that relationship. Well, the mother in this case has 3 daughters, and this is about what happens when they tell the story about her relationship with a movie star. It's, you know, like what do kids think about their parents' previous life before being in their family? So this is about young love, married love, the lives that parents lead before they have children. And it was I mean, it's a soft, easy book. You know, there's no terrible drama or violence. It's just like a family story about relationships. So that was lovely. Tom Lake by Ann Patchett. The next one, and thanks to a viewer, when I asked about favorite books last time, they mentioned this one, and I thought, well, I remember reading that, but I realized that was a book I had on audio and that it had to go back before I finished it, and that is The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. And I guess with this one you can say, you know, be careful what you wish for. It starts in 1714, France, and a young woman makes a deal with the devil that she wants to live forever, and she's living a long time because we meet her nearly 300 years later. So this is a book that goes through the 1700s to the 2000s, and we see her life progress through the ages. Now, the curse in this case for Addie is that when she's out of sight, she's out of mind. So if she's talking to someone in a store and she goes into the change room, when she comes back out, person doesn't remember her. When she's at a dinner party with acquaintances, or new acquaintances, if someone leaves the room, when they come back, they don't know who she is. So really it is out of sight, out of mind. And how that helps her survive through 300 years, but also the struggle. And the turning point is when she meets a young man who remembers her. He sees her one day in a bookstore, and he remembers her the next day when she returns. And that's the first time in 300 years anyone has remembered her. It's really good. So the final book I'm going to talk about is called The Collected Regrets of Clover by Mickey Brammer. So Clover is a death doula. So she attends people in their final days. And after each death, in her journal, she writes her clients' regrets. And so that is her book of collected regrets. And the saying that goes with this in the book is, to have a beautiful death, you need to live a beautiful life. And so Clover records these regrets and then tries to lead her life using the advice of her clients who have passed away. Now, Clover's had a lot of death in her life. As a kindergarten child, her teacher dropped dead in front of her. Her parents died when she's very young, and she goes to live with her grandfather. And so we begin to hear about her regrets and about how she begins to live her life to have that beautiful life. So that is The Collected Regrets of Clover by Mickey Brammer. A very different book, but lovely. Makes you think about your own life and what your regrets could be. All right, so that's it, everyone. Thank you so much for coming back. I'm sorry I was away for so long. I'm hoping that if I get Changing Seasons finished, that it'll kind of encourage me to come back more when I have other projects to actually work on. And also, I mean, I have lots of other makes to show. I'm knitting, crocheting, quilting, sewing. I'm making all the things, and I'm really in my happy place right now in my happy handcraft studio. So thank you, everyone. Like and subscribe. Thank you so much for joining me today. Bye-bye.